Quite interesting and unique about this festival, that it really brings the history to life, but not just the history, it brings it back to today's values as well, and the fights that everyone does day to day in the workplaces.
Well, first time down here, Tim, what do you reckon?
But absolutely brilliant. I'm really enjoying it, and everyone's of the same spirit, eh? That's the thing, everyone's here for the right reason. Hello everybody!
Expecting probably another 30-35 tents. Bigger range of people, obviously, from still predominantly, obviously, from the GMB, but we've got, we have friends across the trade union movement, and they get in touch, and if we can ever help out, we always will. That's what being in trade union is all about.
A lot more tents here now. There was only about 10 or 15 here 2 years ago, but it's filling up nicely now, yeah.
It's been better and better, and it's going to continue that way. I can see it, in a few years' time you won't be able to get in here because it'll be so popular.
More Portaloos and then the Marquee and then running water, and I think it shows that no matter how small you start, it can go into something big, and everything's a metaphor for that. Like the GMB Young Members is growing every day, as is GMB, as is the Labour movement, so it's all a knock-on effect.
And it was getting to the stage over the road there where you couldn't move on Sunday, and somebody asked the question, what about that field over there, and that's where it started.
The whole idea of this was an opportunity for GMB members to come down, use the facilities for free and enjoy a week at Tolpuddle. And given the history of Tolpuddle as well, what a fantastic setting to celebrate trade unionism.
And this is one young lady over here. Would you like to step in and say hello?
No!
You're on the spot.
I live in London.
You live
South
in
London. Annie.
First time down here, Annie?
Yeah.
Yeah? What do you think?
It's great, yeah.
Well, the Martyrs Rally is a get-together of like-minded people. You go to a conference, you only have one union there, but there all the unions are here.
A few years ago, we had lots and lots of very low-paid members of the GMB that couldn't afford a holiday. In fact, didn't have a holiday for 5 years previously. So we decided to hire this field, give our members free camping for a week so that they can come here on a Monday, enjoy the Dorset countryside, enjoy the scenery, have days out for themselves that will cost them nothing bar their petrol and whatever food they take with them and cook in here.
There's some people that have found it, such a fantastic experience being amongst colleagues, fellow trade unionists, and somebody once described Tolpuddle as a little bit of a socialist utopia, and I think, that's a bit true on the GMB field.
This gentleman came down on the Monday. He's volunteered to help out, and he's done a sterling job. He really has. He's been off on a bike, learning a little bit more about the Dorset area, haven't you? And believe it or not, he's going to cycle back to Leicester.
Due to my life and the turns it took, I kind of came apart from the union slightly, and coming back here has really brought me back into the fold and helped me reconnect, not just with my own trade union, but be here to help celebrate trade unionism as a general thing.
I know there are people on the field this week that have been camping all week that wouldn't have been able to come if it wasn't for the fact that we had free camping, and that's why they've been here.
Gives them a break, and it's good. We've got to, not that we separate from the other unions, we've got to feel that we can accommodate the other unions as well. Like the festival was in the beginning, just people gathering together in a field, celebrating.
It's got a real great family feeling. It's a really friendly field. We've got enough space that the kids can run around and enjoy themselves. Everybody's been in here for their lunch today, so people are getting well fed, well watered, and they're all very happy.
It's become a festival. There's lots of add-on activities and events, but you mustn't forget the primary reason for being here is to commemorate the martyrs and to preach trade unionism and collectivism. You've got to appeal to younger people, you've got to appeal to the wider public as well, which is why developing it into a festival is sensible in my view. It's the right thing to do, but we mustn't forget the primary reason why we're here.
I've got no problems with this like this. It's good, but I don't know the politics of it, but it's a good job it's happened.
It's great to see the number of people coming here, and basically our unemployed, low-paid workers, disabled workers, we've got good facilities here. Great job done by the local branches, the activists of the GMB.
Everybody gets together and pulls together to make it happen, and and to make it work and make it good for everybody, you know. And that's really what it's all about, and that's what union is all about.
Our barbecue counter that's been set up by our local representatives, paid for by our local branch, it just proves that we have got members out there that understands what trade unionism is.
It's in memory actually of a good friend of ours who was here last year, Andrew Watkinson. He'd come down here every year as a carpenter, putting everything together, and unfortunately passed away late last year. And the branch looked up and said, you know what, let's improve the facility. But we have a fantastic bunch of volunteers. People come forward, they man the gates to make sure that the banksman work's done, the traffic's all organised properly, people are parked up.
So we are going to have here ex-members who are 80 years old. We don't have them coming down just to have a look round. We've got them volunteering on the gates here, making sure traffic and people are safe.
First time I came here, it was Jim Callahan, and my colleague who's behind you, who you want to talk to, can probably tell you a few more stories about Jim Callahan.
So I've been coming since the 1970s, when I became the local officer for the GMB in the area.
We've got them coming down to enjoy a barbecue this evening, and we've got them coming down to partake in the festival march tomorrow through Tolpuddle town in remembrance of those people who gave us the right to belong to a trade union.
Just like it, I'm a retired officer. It's an opportunity to see old friends and colleagues.
That's what it's about, the young, the old, because once we're breathing air in this world, we need the assistance and the company of communities, and this is a community in itself.
I love it here because even in the bad times of the Labour movement, it's a shot in the arm. Even in years when we've had, let's say, a bad election result, you come to Tolpuddle and the mood is optimistic and lively, and it recharges your batteries.
It's just a great time. It's always a nice atmosphere.
I mean, the election showed this year that young people are being energised about politics. And that's happening in trade unions, and particularly in the GMB. We've got some experiences that we can tell them about, which they can learn from, but I mean the future's theirs. And it's good to see so many of them both here over the weekend and in the union and supporting the Labour Party.
There's kids that have been coming since they were, before they were born even, so it's just part of what they do, and they really enjoy it.
I think there's an energy in the Labour movement generally, yeah.
I knew that it was like a political festival, but I wasn't sure of what actually was here.
It was great. It's like the best fun I've ever had.
And I've noticed in general, there's more young people here with, rude things about the Tories written on their T-shirts, which is great.
I think it's quite good. I met some proper old-fashioned hippies last night with my dad, and we were sat around a fire playing some music.
Well, being trade union officers, we don't drink.
And we're on the move, aren't we? We're on the way forward, not backwards.
Wanted to come down this year, so got the campsite. We're going to help out herding people in and out a bit later.
I think it is now a real effort and a real concerted, ongoing aim for the GMB to only increase its presence with Tolpuddle.
Fantastic play by Townsend Productions. We've also got a group of young members down here this week. They've come from across the GMB region.
A few of us from the GMB Young Members Network, we've come down this weekend. We came on the Thursday. We're sort of trying to run a bit of a history school for young members so they can learn about the history of the labour movement.
We saw the tree, we saw the cottages where they met, and what was the old primitive Methodist chapel. You have a vague idea of the story. When you see it all in front of you, it makes it much more real. How much harder it was and how much more they were putting on the line. When I joined GMB, I went on the website and I started a direct debit. I didn't have to meet in the woods or in someone's cottage and take a secret oath. The young members are over here in certain workplaces and certain branches, and the old members are over there in retired members' branches. And when we get together, we always have a good talk, and I think we quite quickly find common ground with each other.
My generation had it good because of our forefathers, with a health service and a welfare state. Today, the youngsters got a rotten deal.
Definitely, mate. Definitely.
And we should be supporting them, just as my peers supported me.
What do we want?
£10 an hour!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
£10 an hour!
Where do we want it?
Now!
and we're just getting together to see what we can sort of make from this festival and how we can do it next year, so that next year we'll hopefully have some new faces, some young members who might not have been active before, and get them involved, and they can find out the history of what they're getting involved in. Yeah, so we're going to the Martyrs Museum. So we know the basics, but I think today we're going to be learning a bit more in detail about the Martyrs' cause and what led them to stand up for their rights and form that union.
So Tolpuddle is this village, and the Tolpuddle Martyrs are a group of 6 agricultural labourers who worked on the land around here. And we gather here every year to commemorate and honour the martyrs, because this place is seen as the birthplace of modern trade unionism. And here in Tolpuddle, the workers were facing financial difficulties. Just like today, wider financial considerations will often influence the condition of workers.
People gathered together in London. I mean, it was quite amazing, the amount of support they had.
And then you come here and you hear the story of them 6 men that were transported halfway across the world for just being people. And it lights a fire inside you, and you start burning up and you get inspired. And it carries on when you go home as well.
There's all the various stalls, meeting people from the trade union movement from all across the country. I think everyone's got a different story, whether it's whether they work in a factory, in a supermarket, whether they're on a fixed term contract or a 0 hours contract, whether they're a student or a retired person. They've all got something to contribute to the movement. So, and obviously he'll be leading the Jeremy Corbyn chants as well. Get someone on the 7 Nation Army riff to help that out. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Oh, Jeremy. We need a few more people to make it proper.
Go Jeremy Corbyn, go Jeremy Corbyn.
I love it, it's brilliant. There's just so much going on. Everyone's really nice, especially the audiences that come and see the show as well. I'm really engaged with it, and yeah, it's just brilliant. The audience is such a big part of the show as well.
There was clapping, cheering on the heroes and booing the black shirts.
I mean, our shows are about the history of the trade union movement and about the labour movement. It's great to be here, to be literally connected to the past, the proud history, of struggle and campaigns for change. And it's vitally important that we remember it and celebrate it and have fun while we're doing it.
There's prize 2 and 6, I know all the day track data tricks I'm a marvel when I'm out to win. In a handicap race I am.
It's the daredevil dog. She even smiled for the camera.
It keeps me active. It means that I'm fighting for a better country as well as better workplaces, and for my colleagues to reap the benefits and be part of the union as well. And young people are always exploited. The employers take advantage and deliberately don't pay them properly, don't give them rightful contracted hours, and undermine health and safety completely. So to look at where most of it began and how it affects and how our struggles haven't really changed so much.
I think, when people hang together, they really can make something out of them. And that's really what I suppose we're all representing, the fact that we support each other.
There's also going to be a barbecue on the GMB field where a number of trade unions come down and join together. So I'm looking forward to that. And tomorrow the procession and obviously the music and events that will be taking place on the main stage. So all I'd say to people, if you haven't been to Tolpuddle, you ought to come.
Hey, what do you think of that?
Tell you what, you want to taste them as well. Proper GMB burgers, good meaty burgers, GMB.
Enjoying it all, everything seems to be going nice and smooth. It's fantastic, and everyone appears to be enjoying themselves, and that's what it's all about.
Everyone's got their workday suit off and their shorts and their hat on, and it's fun,
She's in my rugby team. My mum, she invited me, is part of the GMB. We came 2 years ago and this year.
It's so moving to be here. This is where trade unionism started back in the 1830s, and the farm labourers said we're not having it, and that's what the GMB's about. And we have come after that, but we've taken on the battle, we've taken on the baton. We won't kowtow to greedy, unscrupulous employers. We're not going to have it. We're going to take them on. What's great about it is that we've got so many people here from the GMB, from various regions, Northwestern Irish, Yorkshire region, Southern region of course. We've also got a young members section here. I've met officers who I've known for 30 years as well, and watching last night, people sitting together and having a chat and having a beer, and younger people listening and hanging off every word of some of the older people who've got lots of experience. But then the older people saying, but you're our future now. Look what this T-shirt says, proud past, bright future. That's what it's about. And you know, everyone mixing together. We're just about to have a barbecue. People are waiting to have a bottle of beer and share more experiences with each other. What a fantastic event this is. Showing that we are all like-minded. We've got one thing in common, and that is that we want fairness and justice for everybody.
And you can join. We'll teach you how to put up a gazebo.
I was talking to a group of reps not long ago, and they were talking about the manifesto, and they said, oh, it was quite radical. And I said, well, you know, they're all the same age as me. Yeah. When did it become radical that you didn't have to pay for hospital car parking, or that you could go to university and not end up 50 grand in debt, or that, you know, our utility companies make profits that come back to our country rather than going abroad? You know, how did all that get radical? I would have called it, you know, common sense.
Stand for the many. Stand for the many, not the privileged few. Oh, Jerry Corbyn. Oh, Jerry Corbyn. Oh, Jerry Corbyn. Oh, Jerry Corbyn.
Yes, we did very well, and Corbyn ran a fantastic campaign, but it was the manifesto that was the star of the show, and basically trade unions, myself included, had a major input into that manifesto. And it's investing in everybody, investing in our young people again, rather than what we've seen of EMA doing away with, introducing massive tuition fees, punishing our young people, lack of apprenticeships, not giving them any hope for the future, people at work who are abused, you know, hire and fire culture, this massive growing casualisation of employers employing people, paying them as little as they possibly can, no investment, low skills, low economy stuff, and people wonder why the status quo of politics is now gone in the bin forever. It's been coming a long time, but now is our time, now is our chance. We've got to show we are collected, gathered, effective opposition, leadership, government in waiting. Tolpuddle, what an event.
Mark, we believe, popping along later on. He's coming very, very specifically. It's just a guest. Come and have a drink, come and have a little bite to eat. It's not as if he's going to be doing a headlining or a show or anything. It'd be nice to see him, and if he wants to say a few words, all the better. That'd be absolutely wonderful.
Just occurs to me that the future of the British Labour movement lies within this field. I think the events of the next 3 or 4 hours will determine the whole of humanity for the next sort of 7,000 or 8,000 years, I would have thought. So I thought that's probably gives me some responsibility to come down here. The more that the trade union movement is sort of written off as being a decrepit anomaly from the past, the bigger these things get. Apparently, you know, the Durham Miners thing and Tolpuddle, and every year it gets a little bit bigger. The youth section that is under 80. They have to transform it. Hundreds of people that went out doing stuff and doing things that, you know, our generation struggles with, your Facebook and iTunes and YouTube and WhatsApp and Instagram. I know the names, but that's all. And all, you know, that generation, that's the generation that has to be one to, you know, and they'll have different ways of doing things probably, other than coming to marquees in fields. I've written a couple of jokes for him that he did at the last couple of conferences. That'd be great if I wrote like a whole 40-minute set for him, then an interval, and then that'd be great, wouldn't it, to see him? That'd be a thing. If it doesn't work out, he can try doing 20 minutes at the Comedy Store. You used to be leader of the opposition, mate. Now, a lot of people have said that the Brexit vote was down to the old people, mostly, and it was all their fault. And I think that's right. It bloody was, the old people. Yeah, I'm 93, I'm not even going to see the week out, but fuck it, you deal with that. She was asked right at the start, are you ashamed, the Prime Minister, are you ashamed of the fact that thousands of nurses in this country rely on food banks? What an answer. She said there are many complex reasons why people use food banks. But well, that's true. I mean, one or two? Hungry a bit, right? But most have probably seen a charming review of the food bank in the Sunday Times. And then she said about it was the elite. You're going to vote for us because we're against the elite. Everybody says that now. You've got to be against the elite. Trump against the elite, even though he's got a solid gold lift. And Farage, Dulwich College, banker. We're against the Queen. The Christmas speech, the Queen this year, she'll say, Philip and I are fucking sick of the elite.
carry this one. Here we are represent, so very pleased to be carrying a banner this year. It's kind of fun. We want to advertise ourselves. We want everyone to know we're here, and we ain't going away.
We'll be helping out with Southern Regions banners down there, so it'll be a good chance for the young members to meet with other branch secretaries and other people in the union as well, and pay their respects to the martyrs. People that have been here probably from the time when the festival was just a group of people in a field, right through to first timers for the branches across the union. And I think, yeah, everyone's going down to be quite exciting. I think we've been told that you can barely move across the site when most of the people come down. That's the character, the enduring character of what trade unions are all about. You know, people are working and they work hard and they labour, but you know, there's times when everyone comes together to celebrate, you know, a better world, better society. You know, looking after each other. It's nice to come away and appreciate our history and our movement and learn all about what trade unionism and socialism is all about.
Well, I'm going to walk a little way with the Camborne lot because I used to be their officer down there, so I'm going to just do a few yards.
The march is the best thing of all, even better than the speeches. Yeah, you can't beat the march. A lot of GMB members, a lot of banners. They're doing the union proud, and particularly the martyrs.
Well, it's the GMB and it's the shout, which is representing the LGBT. So yeah,
I'm feeling excited. It's the first time at Tolpuddle, so definitely excited to join the march and be part of our history. Really, we've got 10 young members from all around the country that have taken part in our political school and now joining the march. They're over there holding all the banners, and they've all really enjoyed themselves and taken a lot from the weekend. So all positive stuff.
Proud to be back with the family of my union. Proud to be walking with so many other unions. It's a phenomenal feeling. I've been on marches before, but this is something else. Yeah, looking forward to the U-turn and seeing everyone else that I've not seen up front yet.
Yeah, it's very different. I've often marched through like towns like London and where I'm from, but it's a bit different marching through a village. It's nice though, nice atmosphere.
It can be, really quite a moving experience. I find, you look out and see all the banners and people that have got real pride in belonging to their union, proud to carry the banners and march for their union, and it's great. It's what it's all about, and it is like, it's a big family, and people look after each other, which we've seen on the field all week. People looking after each other and mucking in, and everybody helping out. So it's brilliant.
Great, isn't it? I mean, GMB have been putting on Bangor bands now for a couple of years, and it's just a lively beat to a march, isn't it? Modern Britain, diverse Britain. That's what it's about, isn't it?
We're Camborne C21 branch in Cornwall, obviously. This is our branch banner.
Absolutely fabulous. I've never seen anything like it. I'm so thrilled with it all.
I got down this morning and there's no other place I'd rather be. And what a turnout, and the weather's beautiful as well. And we're all looking forward to seeing Jeremy Corbyn later.
And a lot of people that have come back to the Labour Party have said, I feel like it's a proper Labour Party again. I've come back because it's the Labour Party I want it to be.
And what about politicians? They don't have a pay cap. Why should our firefighters, our nurses, our healthcare workers, our council workers, our benefit officers, our refuse collectors, our cleaners put up with a pay cap? Let's send a message to all of them. If you can find the money to give tax cuts to the rich and to corporations, then you can find the money to pay all our public service workers the money they deserve.
and it has energised so many people. It's great, and we're really seeing it here today, and I think we're going to have more people than ever because Jeremy Corbyn's on, and everywhere Jeremy Corbyn goes, hundreds of thousands of people follow.
They've given us a legacy we have all to live up to. And here today, in Tolpuddle, in 2017, we're living up to that legacy, and we're declaring ourselves ready, able and very determined to fight for justice in this country and around the world and campaign to win against this Tory government. Thank you very much.
So it's going to be a great march. I mean, he's quite often down here for it anyway, because obviously he's a great supporter of the trade union movement, and it is about, this is where the trade union movement came from. This little village in Dorset. It's brilliant.
It's been very powerful. It's been a great day at Tolpuddle today. It's awesome. It's wonderful. It's great. Seeing the Tory going out, seeing Labour back to power. Power to the working class, power to the workers' union, power to the people. That is it. Equality for all.
Love for GMB. It was a fantastic day. This for the GMB.
It's the first time that a lot of GMB young members have been here this year, so it's been an absolute privilege and an honour for Young Members Network to come and help carry the banners for the region.
It's glad to see a lot of people turn out as well for the Martyrs on the field. When you're a trade unionist, it never leaves you. You'll always fight continually for the greater good of the workers. A tough enough job, and it will only ever get harder.
People came to me last night and said, I've made another 5 new friends at Tolpuddle this year, and I'm going to make another 5 next year.
So we're encouraging all members, if you haven't been able to get down this year, get down, put the effort in, come down, you'll have a great time.
It's a testament today that we've got so many people here camping, so many good activists here working, the officials, activists, members of the GMB enjoying themselves. Enjoy yourself, everybody, and this is only the beginning of a very, very big GMB presence at Tolpuddle, and it's going to get big. Let us have our differences, let us have our rows, but let us stand together once democracy prevails. That's the only way we're ever going to take power.
8 days ago we arrived in an empty field, as we do every year, and culmination of a few months of getting bits and pieces together gave us GMB at Tolpuddle 2017. This year we had young members from across the country come down, learn all about Tolpuddle, learn about the history, engage with other members of other unions, engage with members of the GMB who come from across the country. Fantastic time, I believe, was had by the young members. I think they'd have liked me to have provided a few more cooked breakfasts, but they seem to manage to do that of their own volition. We had a play on, as expected. Townsend Productions, absolutely outstanding. Mark Steele popped over, he gave us an hour. It was good to spend some time in the field having a little drink, saying hello. It was very popular with everybody here. We had a few other unions come and join us to have a barbecue on the Saturday evening. As I said earlier on, at the barbecue area, that was we honour Andrew Watkinson, good comrade, good friend, brother. From GMB F40 branch. The General Secretary came down, the Regional Secretary came down. We've seen some interesting dance moves by these people on the course of the march. Everybody enjoyed it, many photographs were taken, and I think everybody's had a good time. And I'm hoping that more and more people will come every year, because we've gone from 3 years ago 30, 35 people, last year 65 people, this year 120 people camping. It's good to see old faces, it's good to see friends, and it seems to be now quite a focal point on the calendar of the summer festivals. Even though we have a very small little field over here, we make the most of it, and it's our intention to improve on it for next year. So let's see some more people come down here, and hope you enjoy our hospitality, and see you in 2018.
And you can join, we'll teach you how to put up a gazebo.
There's power in the factory and power in the land.